What's up out there, all my inverted thinkers? I wanted to stop by today just to have some time to spend with you and give you a few tips around pricing your products and services. You know, pricing products and services for an entrepreneur can be one of the hardest parts about your business, because pricing your product or service is a lot more about what the market says about what you do and what you've produced rather than what you say. And if we begin to price on what we think our product should be worth and we don't pay careful attention to the market, we could come up wrong. So what I want to do is I want to give tips, four quick tips on pricing your product or service. Tip number one, never give anything away for free. I've learned this by experience as an entrepreneur, and if you would have caught me in the beginning of building my strategy practice or helping others build their business, I probably would have told you you were dead wrong if you believe this. But let me tell you why this needs to be an essential part of your pricing plan. Because when you give things away for free, you automatically devalue your product or your service. Business is about transactions. If you give something away for free without a transaction, then you are not into business, you are into charity. Now, however, what you get back from your client doesn't, or your customer doesn't always have to be money. It can be something as helpful as a survey. You can ask a person, hey, I want to give you this t-shirt, but in return, I want you to take this survey for me. I want you to fill it. I want you to feel the quality. I want you to tell me what you think about the print on it. I want you to tell me what you think about the sizing. If you can do that for me, you can have this shirt for free. Or you can bring a client and say, hey, I want to offer you one of my services, but afterwards I want to have a 15-minute debrief with you, and I need you to answer some survey questions for me. Was my service helpful? Do you think that it encouraged you to move to the next level of whatever it is? But never give somebody your product or your service and walk away and ask nothing of them. Why? Because every customer or client that you meet with, you want to know if your product or your service was worth their time or a waste of their time, and how you can make it better. Point number two, understand the quality level of your product or service. Is your product just good enough? Is your product or service better than most? Or is your product and service great and excellent? Those are the things that you need to know. And guess what? As an entrepreneur, your product or your service is going to be your baby. So you cannot decide the quality level of it. You need to, number one, research the market. You need to look at some of your competitors or people who are doing similar things to as you, and you need to look at what they do better than you or what you do better than them. You need to look at where they might be innovating and where you need to catch up. You need to look at their price point for what they offer and what you offer. Look all around the market. Then you need to survey those that you have already served with your product or your service. You need to ask about the reliability, the quality level of it, how long it lasts, did it satisfy what they were looking for. All of these things combined together, when you begin to survey them, will let you know the quality level of your pricing. If you get your quality level wrong, if you are asking for more than the market is willing to give you for your product, or if you are asking for less than your product or service can get from the market, both of those come with bad results. Know your quality level. Step number three, you need to know the priority level that your service or your product is on with your clients or customers. What do I mean by that? All of our service and products fall into three priority levels. Your product or service is either a necessity to your client or customer, it's either an accessory to your client or customer, or it's a luxury. If your product and service is a necessity, your client is saying, or your customer is saying, I cannot live without this. We cannot function without this. We need this. Then you need to price according to that priority level. If your product or service is an accessory, all your client is saying, you know what, we use this because it complements something that is a necessity for us very well. It makes our job easier. Then you need to price as an accessory. If you're a luxury and your client is saying, you know what, We're just doing this right now. We're buying this product or this service because we have the availability to, and we believe it's something that we want to have and it's not hurting us in any way. That's okay to be a luxury for a while, but you need to figure out how to move yourself from luxury level to accessory or necessity level for sustainability of your product or service. Then the last thing that you want to do is you want to understand the impact level of your product or service. Your product or your service must impact the world in a way that people want to continuously engage, buy it, or be a part of it. Products that do not change the world or how the world functions, products that do not change organizations or how they function, or services that do not do those, do not last for long. You need to measure impact. And once you measure impact, you need to communicate your impact. And what better way to communicate your impact than telling the story of how your product has brought impact to the lives of your clients or your customers. So there, 4 tips for pricing. Tip number 1, never give anything away for free. Tip number 2, understand the quality level of your product. Tip number 3, understand the priority level of your product or service. And tip number 4, understand the impact level of your product or service. And this will make pricing much more easier and accurate for you as an organization or a business. Thank you so much for joining me on this small video and watching. I'll see you next time.